So, Tenkaichi 4 is officially a thing now. Here's a recreation of my reaction to seeing the announcement. Cool. In the announcement, it wasn't actually called Tenkaichi 4, but it's just easier to refer to it as that, rather than Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi Reboot, because it doesn't look like that's what it is. Or maybe it is. If anything, it looks like it's going to be focusing on Dragon Ball Super, so maybe it should be called Dragon Ball Super Budokai Tenkaichi? Well, whatever it's called, I, like most people, definitely was not expecting another entry in the Tenkaichi series, especially after 16 years. I mean, I even made an entire video about it. I guess I might as well chuck that out. It finally feels like they are listening to fans, or they just ran out of ideas. I really hope it's the first reason. Given how many creators I've seen talking about this game who don't normally even talk about Dragon Ball Z, really goes to show how much of an impact the Tenkaichi series had on my generation. And I say my generation because most of these people are around my age, and this channel's main demographic is the same. I really think that for those of us that grew up with the 6th gen consoles have been kind of ignored. There have been so many re-releases of the NES, SNES, Genesis, and etc. And even the 5th gen has seen quite a bit of love. However, the 6th generation has almost been pushed to the sidelines. Many classics from this era are either hard to find or ridiculously expensive. There were a few HD collections during the 7th gen, but they have almost been lost to time too, especially those stuck on the PS3, thanks to the weird cell processor thing whatever PS3 had. Okay, I've gotten a little bit off track, but honestly it feels like the fans have finally been recognised, and it's never felt so good to be proven so wrong. The reveal trailer showed bugger all, except it's going to have at least some super content, and it's going to look pretty nice. So here are a few things that I'd really like to see in the new game, and I do realise that this is just pie in the sky kind of ideas, but I can dream, can't I? As you all know, I love story modes. They are my favourite modes in these games, and I would love it if Tenkaichi 4 combined the story mode seen in Budokai 3 with Tenkaichi 3. I enjoy the story exploration in Budokai 3, which allows you to fly around the map and experience the story from the perspective of different characters. Of course, if Tenkaichi 4 has as large a roster like Tenkaichi 3, it would be unrealistic to have this for every character, but they could choose the most interesting ones. I really wouldn't mind if they skipped over the Z arc in the story mode, because it's been done so many times. It would be nice to see more of a focus on Super, or a completely new story. I'd also like to see the structure of the fights in the story mode to resemble that of Tenkaichi 3. Long battles, characters interacting with one another during fights, and switching between fighters. Tenkaichi 3 has done an excellent job of simulating the spectacle of the anime fights, and I'd love to see it refined and expanded upon. I'd also like to see a leveling system, like in Budokai 3 or Tenkaichi 2. Personally, I prefer Budokai 3's character leveling system, but with the number of characters available, Tenkaichi 2's makes more sense. Yeah, that's basically what I'd ideally like to see. But it's early days, so who knows what we'll get. Oh, and they need to re-release the original Tenkaichi trilogy, cause that shit is getting expensive.